So this day is also powerful because there is the annual solar eclipse, but I tried to study that and I didn't get very clear understanding that what time is the exact time. If any one of you will find that and could put that into the chat so that we would be seeing that exact moment. And it is seen mainly in the Antarctica. That is what I understood. But then in Vedic tradition, this time is related to Lord Shiva, and we will talk more about that very soon. When we have the new moons, new moon is always some kind of a new opening to the cycle, the next cycle. The shortest cycle is of course 28 days related to the moon cycle, but then when we think about our consciousness, the cycles related to the consciousness, we can define by ourselves what kind of period we are actually thinking within ourselves and contemplating within ourselves. So when we have this new moon, we still have the cycle of the spiritual year, what started last year, 25. And according to that spiritual cycle, we are still in these transformational energies and transition energies of thank you, Ben, for giving this information related to the ending of the era of the Forerunner and to this what happened last year according to the Tibetan, the Great Conclave in Hierarchy and also in Shambhala, related to very big cycle. No, is that big cycle? It is one centennial cycle when those conclaves are happening in these higher realms of Shambhala and Hierarchy. But it is related to the evolution of humanity. And this is interesting when you think about that from that aspect, that we have the cycle related to Aquarius, which is the cycle related to group work. It is the cycle which is related to the life of hierarchy. Thus, hierarchy is the representation of the real Aquarian way of living. That's why this is very, very meaningful. And now we will have only Pisces after Aquarius when we end then this spiritual year cycle. And what is happening at this time, we are quite aware of those. I think so we are. And which is interesting for us to all the time consider what planetary movements are happening in the skies. And that is for us the thing what we need to really study and try to become more aware of them. Just few basic things that reminding ourselves. The new moon is going to be 12:01 and 7 seconds. So the energy, water of life, am I poured forth for thirsty men. If we really work as a group and would learn to be the group in service for Christ and for hierarchy, is that we should become this source of waters of life, or water of life. The water of life is the essence of life itself. If you think about the labor what is done in Aquarius is that bold labor. What he is very successful in this. He is combining two rivers towards the stables and blowing out all what is piled there during the centuries, during many incarnations. And think about that role in the group. If we think that the group can reach that kind of states, that group can truly work as the server, world server in humanity, in human family, what kind of power can be poured through that kind of group? But it really needs effort. It really needs that the individuals in the group will understand their role and don't pass that. So everyone should understand one's own role in the group. So I'm sorry there came something in the on the screen. So let us contemplate a little bit about that, your own role within the group, and understanding that very high note in Leo. Leo is the sign of individuality, but if you read in Leo the real selfhood, the real identity, one becomes the integral part of the group and the group life, the group work. Christ was pointing out when he was with his disciples and he was instructing them before his so-called death, and he asked them to go to the upper room. This new moon, we can relate to that whole process in what is done in during the Pentecost and in the drama of Easter. Now the disciples are taking bigger and bigger role in his work. And now when we have been finishing we are finishing the what has said to happen on 2025, let us realize that deep factor about us, that how we are supposed to become real world servers. It is a higher initiation, the fourth initiation, when we truly then become the world server as the Christ. But this what we are supposed to learn, because certainly every single one of the disciples are related to Aquarius. We will finish our earthly career in Aquarius if not Sanat Kumara is inviting us into that very high group of initiates who are then going to be the world saviors. But we must understand that this is nothing about that one can choose it. It is given us by the choice of Sanat Kumara. So we will just check a little bit about the idea of air. If you know your chart, just reflect where you have the air signs, where you have the Gemini, Libra and Aquarius, in which houses. And we could say that the air is the highest of all of those elements, and it is so high that we do not even have, when we think about our earthly lives, we don't have real air. It's the real air, the first real air is Buddhic air, Buddhic plane, and we don't have directly the access. It's only via our meditations that we can touch upon those planes, and also via the initiations. We could say that then when we have gone through the third initiation, we move into that realm of the Buddhi. But how that is generated through us, it could be said that the third initiation is the first possible, when this Buddhic energy can reach lowest planes. Because in third initiation we will become solar humans, can we call that way. We start to take the prana from the sun. We are not taking prana anymore from the circulatory processes in the aura of Earth. So the air, that's why is the most difficult to handle and control by us. And it is relating us to that kind of idea when we say God is love. We will be we go through the mental plane to those realms, and we are touching that mystery of the fire, which is the means at this time how humanity will rise. It is going via the element of fire, via the Lord Agni, and then we are connected with the Buddhic energy of the real cosmic air. So let us now just work a little bit in meditation. Contemplate what methods you will use during the energies and under the energies of Aquarius and under the energy of element of air. Keep your air triangle in your mind, and thinking about what is that method of air. It's strong transforming power, but difficult process. We are connected then in our minds. And what is that kind of power of air which is pouring from the Buddhic plane? And keep in your mind the labor of Hercules, combining these two rivers, Alpheus and Peneus, the Ida and Pingala, and how this blow, we can really say the blow from the monad, is just striking through, and everything what is the trust, what has been gathered and built, is gone in split second. And think about that, related somehow to love. We will explore this while we go further, but it is related to love aspect. The sun, Aquarius, is the one through which the love can be manifested, but in that sense that it is a quick change. Very interesting thing to think about, that it is in one split second. So if we as a group can reach that kind of states, that we align with these energies of Aquarius, and our head center is activated, all of the 7 centers are needed that work, and in the center of the head there is that place, mysterious place, which can be related to paradise, and within it, in the center of paradise, stands the fountain of youth, the water of life, which can be then pouring through the disciple and through the group. And the whole symbolism of that urn, which is held on the top of the head, is the Aquarian initiate. So let us contemplate the power of air and how that method should be used. We could imagine that we all right now stand in stillness in the center of the scale. Somehow the scale can be looked as a symbol for the air, and in the center of the scale we stand very vertically aligned and try to find that power what could be found in the group. You can have the symbolism of the flame before you and the smoke which is coming from the flame, that it goes directly vertical. And that is how we should reach that place as a group, that we could be used in these very sensitive and very skilled, demanding energies of the air. And if you can hold that image throughout the meditation, and especially at the moment of the new moon, because there are so many challenges, they can be looked challenges because we have so huge opportunities and very strong energies involved, so that if a group can stand completely still, that the hierarchy could be used, the group, and then also reach as lowest plane as possible. If you remember that Aquarius also rules the lowest plane, the physical etheric plane. So let us think about the etheric body. Aquarius is related to etheric body and the circulation of energies, which we as a group should become some kind of conduit for these, that the higher energies could be poured through us. Aquarius is eventually connected with the physical permanent atom, which is, as you know, upon the etheric level. It is this individual web which is the medium of relationship to the whole. And you can think about the individual group. The universal consciousness of Aquarius becomes expressive just in so far, and listen to this, as the individual etheric body is in conscious relation with the etheric body of humanity, the solar system, and of course the planet. So let us pause a second, and we expand really our consciousness, trying to be in conscious relation with the etheric body of humanity. The planet is more difficult, and of course then the solar system. But we can start, of course, our etheric body related to the group etheric body. Let us try to find the quality of the group and then expand our consciousness. We can hold that visualization asset that the group is standing vertically very aligned, and we can align with the star of direction, the polar star. The influence which emanates from the pole star, which is such a potent factor in our solar system, reaches our planet via the sign Aquarius. The reason will be noted if the student bears in mind the significance of water as a symbol of the emotions, which are but a lower manifestation of love, desire. Aquarius is a force center from which the adept draws the water of life and carries it to the multitude. This force from the pole star via Aquarius is of special power at this time, and the day of opportunity is therefore great. It is one of the agencies which make the coming of the great Lord a possibility. So we align with the Christ himself. And the pole star, which is found in the tail of the little bear. And today we have Jupiter, which is the esoteric ruler, in the second decade of Cancer, where we behind that second decade we have this little bear. So we have very strong connections. Let us align with this pole star and keeping the vertical alignment. This contact also in Aquarius, it is also related to Aries, where we have now the Saturn and Neptune. There are so many indicators now towards the first shave, towards the Shambhala, towards the directives, new directives. So try really hard now to understand what kind of huge opportunity we do have. When we are related to Aquarius, we are upon the fixed cross, the crucified Christ. Behind Aquarian energies, everything is about the Christ life, how we are learning to live, the way that to bring forth the Christ life. That is like if you think about that energy of the labor, that in one big blow we blow out everything what is hindering for us, the Christ, the soul, to be expressed. While we are standing in vertical alignment, be aware of that when we really reach as high as possible, reaching first our monad, in our creative imagination, and then traveling in our minds to the pole star, which is keeping this whole planet into certain spiritual direction, or the redemptive energies, and this opportunity that we have. So we will go now into astrology. I just recognized that there was something now in time that we should have had a little bit more time, but we have that what we have. So the moon, new moon, is said that it is the most powerful aspect in the astrology. The moon and the sun conjuncting, and why it is because the father and the mother, the spirit and the matter, are united. Occultly, it is the light and darkness have reached a purpose of a certain period, and it's very completing moment, and at the moment also it is the starting moment, the beginning moment. We have now when we look I'm sorry, there is something going on with this screen. So now we have the new moon in the latter part of the third decade of Aquarius, which is ruled by Venus. And new moon is squaring with Uranus, the exoteric ruler. But Uranus, it is a very fiery, and now we have also the fire energy coming from the Chinese astrology, the fire horse year. Everything is about movement rapidly, the speed. And the horse relation symbolic is related as the purification of the lower bodies, that it could be used. And when we have Uranus in that point where it is related to the star Algol, which is said to be the head of the demon, and all of those illusions and bothering thoughts which may take us. It is called the star itself is called the Eye of Medusa, and it is very often referred to astronomical lore of the Eye of Medusa or Gorgon's eye. But what I really want to now point out is that because this whole myth is about kind of psychological one part or one aspect of the explanation of how evil is existing. And Gorgon, the sister, the lady or the maiden of Gorgon's sisters, was the most beautiful, but she was betrayed in love. And that's why it was developed into this horrible stage of as these snakes which are coming out from the head, when one is just in the illusion and in despair, in this huge hurt. And when you think about whole humanity, we can say that the whole humanity is a victim of this deep wound which is related to love. And that's why the Christ has to come to heal away these wounds. And as a group, again standing in vertical alignment and understanding that the third decade where the new moon is appearing at the moment, ruled by Venus, that how the group can step forward as a force of healing. The power of this, which is symbolized by Medusa, is about won by the will. So now we will move forward and think about the esoteric ruler Jupiter, which is now with Sirius, and that's why also is very, very powerful. It is trining Mercury, which is the ruler of the second decanate. So that's why there is an empowered energetic alignment also via the ruler Jupiter. Now we don't have Walter, but Walter was sending this chart. What is important for us to recognize and keep that in your mind when you meditate, this seed thought that there is appearing again this mystical rectangle envelope indicating about this heavenly message. And one aspect of that is Mercury, one corner. Then there is Jupiter with the Sirius, as said, dwarf planet Orcus, and then Juno. Oh, I'm sorry, here is Juno and here is Mercury. Juno, which is again the wife of Zeus or Jupiter. So these are empowered, and it has been appearing already long time. Mercury, who is the messenger of gods. So something from the divine realm is able to be reached. Again, this very powerful historical moment when we are having this new moon moment, and the moon is the highest ruler in Aquarius. That's why the new moon is very, very powerful in Aquarius and ruled by Venus, as said, this decanate. Solar eclipse is happening, and Ben was already putting that. Okay, so it is just happening, if I'm understanding correctly, 12 minutes past the top of the hour when what is reaching us now. So keep that in your minds, that this solar eclipse is very powerful. I will just shortly go through something about it. And then, of course, that what we cannot forget is the Saturn conjunct Neptune, and that is the most significant planetary aspect of this year. Because when we think about the Saturn and Neptune, they are conjunction every 36th year, but when it is going to be next time in Aries, this conjunction, like now, it is happening next time after 500 years from now. This is corrected by Walter. We said a few days ago 400 years, but it is actually 500 years, which is the cycle related to the second ray. Very, very meaningful. Where we are going to be then, just questioning. Have we already managed our lives that we are not anymore coming back to earth? Who knows? But certainly related strongly to the Christ life. The sapien symbol, which is related to this new moon, is beautiful. A butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. Keynote: the capacity to utterly transform the character of one's consciousness by radically altering the structural patterns of everyday living and the types of relationships one enters upon. At this fourth stage of the 65th subcycle, the keynote is metamorphosis. In spiritual terms, this implies initiation, as does always the eclipses. entering a higher realm of conscious existence and there joining a sacred company. So beautiful, dearest friends, that we should be dwelling a little bit more in those, but keep them in your mind and study them after the new moon. Also taking this the energy of the fire horse, which is the bringer of the message from divine. So the solar eclipse is happening, and it is a eclipse which is falling in a so-called in Vedic tradition in Tanishta, the area of the sky which is symbolized by Lord Shiva, drum, the cosmic rhythm that governs both destruction and renewal. Mahashivaratri, the sacred night of Lord Shiva, was actually on the 15th of February. It is said that on this night Lord Shiva can dissolve attachments, cut cords, and liberate the soul from the lifetimes of karmic bondage. Think about where we have now Saturn with Neptune in Aries. And also in this aspect that the Venus is rising from the sea. The power of the soul is rising now from the matter. And although this eclipse is fully visible only in Antarctica, its energetic effects ripples out globally and personally via the etheric web, which is so much related to Aquarius, this whole etheric web. This Tanishta, this Vedic name, is the star of symphony. Isn't that beautiful? Star of symphony. This area of the sky is symbolized by Lord Shiva's drum, a tamaru that plays in the dance of destruction and marks the cosmic rhythm of all endings and beginnings. So we will align with the Shiva's dance. And after this new moon, if anyone will have time, we will contemplate a little bit more, because at this moment we cannot anymore. But I will just elaborate for those who would like to continue still to meditate. And now we go into our meditation. Proceed into deep meditation. Beginning your work at as high as possible. And we already had the vertical alignment. And we are going to choose for ourselves a seat, thought, and think then deeply upon that embodied idea, carrying your thoughts forward and onward and upward, and choose whichever word conveys to you the deepest meaning until you will reach as abstract a point as you can achieve. When you can go no further anymore and have entered the world of abstraction, then stay poised in thought and hold the mind steady in the light for as long as a period you can. Watch your thought process as you do this, and note anything new or especially intuitive which you may register during the time of the new moon. under any new moon, we can use that as a portal to draw new things unto ourselves. You can use this meditation and to meditate on how you wish to direct your spiritual life. Very important this coming new cycle after this year, when we are ending the era of the Forerunner. What is that role we are going to carry? Create a seed thought which can be used, and I suggest that we are now contemplating a seed thought for the next whole year cycle and how you wish to move through the next period. Let us now align with the hierarchy, recognizing the potent Buddhic livingness which permeates through all the ashrams, Aquarian hierarchy, aligning with the star of Sirius, conjuncting now with the esoteric ruler Jupiter. And may these energies pour through us during this sacred time of the new moon. In the presence of this great light of the spiritual triad, let us attempt to feel the presence of the Great White Brotherhood, and inwardly and with heartfelt gratitude to address our salutations to the Masters. Salutations to the Christ, the Master of all Masters. Salutations to the Lord of First Ray, the Master Moria. Salutations to Master Kutumi. Salutations to Master Tualkul. Salutations to the spiritual hierarchy of our planet. Center where the will of God is known. Now imaginatively raise your thought to Shambhala, towards the center where the will of God is known. And with deepest reverence and in all humility, attempt, identified as the group soul, to attune with the presence of Sanat Kumara, standing at the center of Shambhala. Imagine the divine will and divine purpose descending from Shambhala, from Sanat Kumara, and thus seeking to impress the lower spheres one by one. Sound a long, silent Om. Realize that Shambhala is the planetary center through which the energies of the constellations and the planets initially enter according to the law of assembly, and especially during the full and new moon opportunities, and then to be distributed to all sentient beings upon earth. The divine contemplatives. Imagine now the will of God from Shambhala, pouring down into the divine contemplatives, the Nirmanakayas on the monadic plane. Realize that as registrants of the purpose, they focus the divine will and purpose of Shambhala. Imagining the members of the spiritual hierarchy, attuning with the divine contemplatives, and receiving unto the atmic plane as much of the divine purpose as they can. Sound a long, silent Om. realize that the members of the spiritual hierarchy are the custodians of the plan, and thus working to receive divine purpose and to formulate it as a divine plan. Divine plan. Let us now attempt to attune as a group to the divine plan, holding that strong vertical alignment, and as it is conceived in the minds of the spiritual hierarchy of our planet. Hold that thought for a while. And aligning with that envelope, the mystical rectangle, and then sound a long silent Om. Align with the group mind and imagine a small portion of this great plan impressing the new group of observers. And thus our group and your individual consciousness. Formulate now in silence the seed thought. I say once again, so in silence formulate the seed thought for the coming month and the coming year. Let the new moon moment and the minutes surrounding it be moments of profound impression of that seed thought. Standing with your co-workers, your co-disciples, your brothers and sisters, under the constellation and the sign of Aquarius, focusing upon the polar star of direction, imagining the descending portion strengthened by the spiritual will, reaching the group mind, be the white magician at work with your group brothers and sisters, and formulate the seed thought during the period of silence. Dearest friends, as you know that we have the eclipse going on, and in the sign of Aquarius we can think about initiation. It is probable that in hierarchy and Christ have been looking now the groups which are able to be taken under the more direct and deeper training. So aligning with that idea, thinking all the co-work around the planet and the network of triangles. Let us work for a while, just turning this process, while this peak is going to be the ring of fire, related now to the work of Lord Shiva. It will be 12 minutes past, and then ending 27 minutes past, so we will work this time. I made a little change here. now there is the ring of fire, the peak of this eclipse, and it will be until 27 minutes past. So we are in silence. the light of the impressed descending energies, qualified now by the sign of and the power of Aquarius, and then this amazing eclipse related to Shiva's drum, the presence of great Lord Shiva. We had this amazing opportunity, so ponder on that tiny energy seed from the divine plan, which has now impressed itself upon your consciousness. Imagine you and the group as co-workers, co-creators who are partaking in that great manifesting powers from Shambhala. Which comes into existence via the plan. And every single of us and the group is in that great hierarchical work, descending over energies of many kinds. We try to understand our part in this whole structure of manifestation. And that part, this tiny part, which is directed to every individual, and how it can grow as a co-work into manifested plan. And then come into fruition on the physical plane. We realize how the plan comes via all of these several kingdoms of nature, including the human kingdom. Now focus your will and your love and your intelligence to promote the constructive energizing and growth of that process, which is trusted on you, so that the divine plan may be more completely fulfilled. And how this group, which is now present, work within in the magical process of the new moon. Imagining still standing with the group in strong vertical alignment, and through group pouring out the love of all beings. This outflowing thought is a great releaser, and each of the disciples who master DK6 to train needs release from something. we pour out the love of the hierarchy which the world needs, and hold that sacred tiny thought, seed thought, in deep understanding how everyone will partake in the work of service. We believe that these benevolent processes will, in time, come to fruition, and imaginatively see it happening. And we will sound to the end the great invocation, blessing the planet, all its kingdoms of nature, and the human race. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Thank you, dearest friends. We will still have the sacred time of this new moon and also the eclipse, so we can continue our meditative work, but I'm not having now, because I was taking this part into our silent meditation about the eclipse, so I will not continue now, but you can continue in your own places with these very powerful energies and make a big change for the coming times for all of us and in humanity. Now, lots of love and happy new year with the fiery energies of the fire horse. And we meet soon again. Lots of love.